Hi, I'm Lee, and this is day 14 of my fourth attempt to get through the book Greenblood. Yay, 2 weeks we survived. Technically with a couple of twists and turns where I could have died or should have died, but trying to make this more exciting by actually progressing further than lots of Groundhog Day with minor tweaks at the start. So, after speaking with Elanor, having some tests and twists and turns, we woke up with an emerald ring. And the choice was, do we take off the ring or do we leave the ring on? And it was 10 votes, 2 of you to take off the ring and 8 of you to keep it on. Now, ultimately, I'm sure people have realised, don't make Elanor angry. It doesn't go well. So we will leave the ring on and turn to 35. I'd say early in the book, but it has no difference. Elanor, today dressed in a silver gown of gossamer silk, turns to look at you searchingly as you walk underneath the hawthorn arch. She smiles and asks if you are feeling brave today. You sense a sombre urgency behind her words, and, imitating a courtly bow, you reply, "My lady, I have never felt more heroic." "Good. Do you dare to glimpse your future, my hero?" You have always avoided fortune-tellers. You have noticed that if a fortune-teller gives good news, people go away happy and expect good fortune to turn up on a plate without them lifting a finger. If the soothsayer prophesies misfortune, a sense of helplessness comes over people, and they all too often sink into a despairing inactivity which leads to their downfall through sloth. Thus, their prophecy is self-fulfilling. It is a well-known fact in Gordano that those soothsayers who always give good auguries are never short of custom, leading you to conclude that they often lie, pretending to see happy events when they should be giving bad news, good fortune when they should be giving bad tidings. You worry on the score, however, is soon gone. Looking in the basin of smooth, clear water, it seems as though an artist is hurriedly painting a picture of the ghoulish horror. The water shows what will come to pass if you do not succeed in your quest, says Elanor. The picture is complete now in terrible detail, as if you were looking at the burnt remains of the forest. The trees have been chopped down as far as the eye can see. An infernal engine of some kind belches black smoke. 200 paces away you see a forge where a gigantic cauldron is suspended over a bonfire. 6 men constantly feed the fire with wood and charcoal. All the men working there have very pale skins. Their faces long and thin, like hatchets. They shout to each other over the din of the engine in a language you don't understand. Teams of horses harnessed together pull logs to where groups of men cut them up ready for burning. A row of children sit nearby. They are darker skinned than the men, which feels a bit weird and wrong to point out with everything that's going on right now. The men have been set to toil over sharpening the saws. Where the trees have been felled and stripped, men are torching the underbrush. They seem intent on killing everything that lives in the forest. A pall of smoke hangs like a storm cloud over the scene. Then the vision lifts, and the men have gone, leaving behind nothing but the grey ashes of death. All that remains of the forest is a few blackened stumps. Note the code word Crabclaw on your adventure sheet and turn to 26. So this is the first time we've had a code word. Keep that in mind, folks. So we turn to 26. You have seen what will come to pass if you fail in your quest. Death and nothing but death. Now let us see whether your future holds something different in store. Elanor takes your hand and brushes the surface of the water with your fingertips. A new picture forms and your eyes grow round with wonder. Something that looks like a hill set between tall dark trees is stirring and turning to look at you. It is a dragon, the oldest of the ancient beasts, not quite immortal. Its red eyes contrast horribly with the smooth jade-grained scales of its body. It snorts and a cloud of green gas rolls towards you. You jerk back from the vision in horror before you remember it is just a picture on the water. You see yourself darting away from the cloud. Later, the vision shows you riding astride the creature's back while it flexes its wings in flight. You must win over the dragon, the most powerful of all the Forestensians, says Elanor, Then I will fight for you against the Westermen. It feels very like Galadriel, Lord of the Rings, looking in the pool thing. I mean, granted, it's hard not to be inspired / plagiarized from Lord of the Rings, but if this came out right around when the movies did, it would be a bit weirder. The fact it came out in 1993 means they read it, but not as many people would be aware. I don't know. So we turn to 41, bar my digressing and pointing out similarities. Elanor takes your hand once more and brushes the surface of the water again. The water is icy to your touch this time. A shiver of indefinable apprehension runs through you. A new picture forms. Elves with bows throng the depths of the forest. They have pale green skin and hair the colour of rich red wine. They are sniping at the Westermen, unseen. Men fall in swathes, pierced by the elves' arrows, but the Westermen come on, advancing towards some unseen goal. The elves fall back. It seems they are looking to you to do something decisive. A terrible figure stalks into view. You can't tell whether it is a man or some infernal magical machine. It looks like a full suit of armour, large enough for a giant of a man that hisses steam at the joints. It bears a great sword which whistles through the air as it strides mechanically towards you. It feels like the thing on the cover, but with a sword instead of an axe. The vision fades. Your moment of truth, hero. You must be prepared to fight the smoking man. Remember this vision, Saviour. It shows the way to success in your quest, she says. She pauses before continuing. Tomorrow will be Midsummer's Day. It is time for you to go in search of the elves. But, my hero, you must be careful. Tell them you are a friend of mine, and they might not kill you, for they sometimes shoot a man dead with a single arrow before the hapless wanderer knows he is being watched. Harm neither hide nor leaf of the forest. Seriously, folks, do not hurt the forest. Only by your feeling for nature would the elves judge you. Aside from that, they are impartial. You could be a saint or a murderer among men, yet it would count for nothing among the elves. When she is sure you know the way, she bids you farewell with one last warning. The flute will be of no use to you, for I cannot save you from the elves if you anger them. Farewell. And we turn to 70. Feels like quite a long one today, and not with me ducking choices either. If you have both the Waterbearer and Bullhorn code words, turn to 256. Nope. If you have only Waterbearer, turn to 42. No. If you have neither code word or only Bullhorn, turn to 60. So, at some point, we have completely missed out on trying to get some code words. Would love to know how we could have got those code words. I think the magic mirror could have given us one, but I'm still not quite sure. So, the hairs on the nape of your neck begin to bristle as you step quietly between the greenbark trees. You sense you are being watched. You can hide and turn to 80, stop and look about you and turn to 90, or you can call out you are Eleanor's friend, come in search of the immortal elves, turn to 109. So, 3 choices. We're not obviously calling out to the elves with some special code words or so forth that we could have earned. So we have 3 choices. Hide, stop and look, or say that we're with Elanor and come to the elves. It might not be the elves watching and we could be a complete fool. Who knows? Get voting and we'll see what happens tomorrow. Thanks very much.